back at it once again. Welcome back. It is Great Ace Attorney time. We continue with the Great Ace Attorney Adventures as part of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles pack. The double pack of both the games re-released with the official English and all other languages translation done officially by Peoples. And it is been a very, very good time currently. Welcome to people in Twitch stream right now. Welcome to people on YouTube watching this right now, just in case you are in the YouTube VOD watching this. It's nice to see you over here. Do let me know how you're enjoying this series if you are, by leaving likes and possibly leaving comments, possibly even subscribing and hitting the bell, because that will let you know when future uploads of this series and other things will appear in your notif box if you're looking for more of this or more of just generally myself over here. If this is what you're here for, then we hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. Thank you for your continued support as always, both in YouTube and in Twitch form as well, as we have people in the chat coming in. Hello, Fran. You're just in time. We will continue in episode 4 shenanigans, and I think we got to a point, quite a contentious point in our episode 4 trial. Oh yeah, this is what we're gonna fix. The jury is out, and we've got to do a second round of convincing them. No, don't make our man guilty. He's only a innocent little man. He is not. I'm sure he is incapable of doing the bads. He is only capable of being a paranoid schizophrenic. It turns out, but we'll see where it is here. So yeah, when we last left off, a lot of talk about who owns what in terms of books. There's been a lot of talk about books, and one particular book turned up that caused a great deal of contention, and through many different paths of lines of speaking, the jury got coerced by one of their own to say, "No, I don't like what the defense is saying here, so hey, come along with me. Let's just throw all our fires into the guilty side for the absolute giggles, for the absolute lols." So we've got to fix that again. Right. We'll see if we can get to the end of the episode in this section today. Don't know if we will, but if we do, then we've got episode 5 away in this as well. Looking forward to everything in here, and let's continue. So, well, I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury, and I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. Yeah, this is the second time we've got to do this. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman? We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Again. Seriously. Why is the jury like this today? I had dinner at 5. I wanted to get out of here. I had to meet the missus. You better have some bloody good reasons. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider.
Even if the one was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it?
Dear me, it was only a little book. Hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit.
I mean, with the way that you can willy your arms, madam, I've seen that in action. Like, don't try and worm your way out of this, please. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pie tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Whose fault is that?
Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gives me the sneezes.
I didn't think that's what flame particles and smoke particles would do. I mean, smoke particles probably, but more often than not, smoke particles are just going to clog your lungs. So, yeah, if your house is on fire, don't stay in the house if you're on fire. If it's on fire, and, yeah, basic safety and such. Alright.
Yes, considering more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. With one notable exception, of course.
My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony.
Huh? Did I not?
So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, I will throw another chalice away that's like £500 a pop, and that's in Victorian money, so you appreciate how expensive this is. And no one else was even at the scene to commit the crime.
Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued any other way.
Well, we've got to bloody try.
That means, I'm afraid, that during this summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts.
But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Forgive me, my voice just doesn't usually break like this. These two details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. Oh, and there I was thinking, this might be hard.
But, Miss Naruhodo, you have to do it! Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends.
Okay, no pressure then.
That's quite enough preamble. Like I said, I've got dinner with the missus at 5. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel.
Oh, yes, my lord. Alright, Yunosuke, focus your mind now. Ow, my face. Why do I do this? Clearly, the key to this summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid, or should I say, the Mrs. Garadeb.
We have a book that disappeared from the Garadeb's house on the evening of the incident, and the 4th book found in the victim's hand.
There must be a way to link the two. Yeah, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes. And if all else fails, I will BS my way through it. I'm sure that'll be a great tactic that fellow ancestors of mine down the line will do. Yes.
Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garadeb and how she reacts, even to the things other people say.
Oh, do we have to pay attention this time to everybody else? Jury examination time. It is time for the defense's butt. Okay. We gotta get this done here. Kimsu, welcome into the Twitch chat. Nice to see you. Hope your day is going good. Here come the spam of the usual emotes, but I appreciate it. Alright, I'm not sure I have anything that I can concretely, say at this point here, right? But to be fair, he did. Some novel alternative explanation. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime and the window is closed. Hardly life-threatening to hit somebody with a book even with a direct hit, but again, you are strong for a lady. Just want to get it over with. That's... Seriously, how is this man's excuse of like, I want to go home too? How does this even hold up? Bad jury person. Yeah, all I've got is to... press everybody now, so let's do it. Hold it! But as we know now, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, what difference does it bloody well make? There's every possibility that the 4th book is in fact belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yes, that's the part I have a problem with. Sorry? Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fighty scrap with his wife or something, you said. And that's not exactly how I put it, no. Well, anyway, the point is the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened.
I think that's what you call a strong alibi.
So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nipponese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it? I suppose it is, since I have nothing witty left to say. Like, darn.
Hold it!
Alright, number 2. Hold it! So you might be willing to change your decision, you mean?
Oh my! Such delight on your face! But I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I am a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman.
Well, that's great.
If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see? Modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking, wouldn't you say?
And not at all extreme.
As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. So despite one or two minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say?
Well, overwhelmingly.
Oh, but modern girls are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that too. If only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad you omitted rational there. I'm not sure. Rational is the best way to say. Okay.
Hold it!
Why would you think that's not relevant, Mr. Man? Hold it! But what about the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been... How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wouldn't. It wouldn't have opened it. Then what's the point in even having windows, huh? Counsel, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering. Oh, sorry. I gotta meet childish arguments with childish bickering, though. Stoop to their level. Somehow I need to show that there's an undeniable possibility that the window was open. Because this young man isn't gonna budge otherwise. I didn't see them particularly react to anybody else react to anything either. Okay! You are the big key here, Miss Number 4. Miss Fake Wife. Okay. But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not?
With flames of love, I'll have you know.
There's no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb.
Well, he brought it upon himself. It's playing with fire to portray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree?
Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yeah. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Miss Garadeb.
Never you mind that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute, nothing more. I would have any movie suggested there was anything whatsoever to do with this crime.
Right, well, we'll see about that, but what about juror number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garadeb's relentless onslaughts.
It's almost as though he's used to it. It's a gentle so he is.
Or you've also got a missus at home that is just as prone to violence. Maybe that's it, huh? Oh, pardon me. I actually did need to press this, if you don't mind.
Hold it!
Hold it! You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here. Well, him and me both then, like I said before. What? I told you already, I'm a day labourer, aren't I? if I don't bring some ready zone with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. What? You heard me. My missus doesn't want to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me. Another shining example of marital bliss, then. A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, well, Do you know, it's funny, because I can't quite remember. Sorry. It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out. Very helpful.
I wonder if Mr. Beats will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf.
Don't even go there, Mr. Sato. Look, Mr. Beat is a very tired man, clearly, but he must be. He's trying his best in his relationship. It's all good. It looks like it anyway. There must be some way to jog his memory about this. Hold it! Alright, man who's hard of hearing. Hold it! Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defense culpability in this case?
Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, lad.
Could you tell us more about that fire?
It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on the top, it did. What a sight to behold it was.
You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship?
Of course not, it was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously.
Oh, it seems that's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Anyway, I must have all my puff to blow them out. Oh, that must have blown wrong somehow. Flames didn't go out, but candles went flying all over the room. Furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke.
That definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean the cold, but how did you catch a cold from the fire?
What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it.
The windows.
The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave did. I caught a terrible cold from it, put me in hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry.
I knew it was devil worship all along. But something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. I think I've got who we can probably pit against each other. There's every possibility, it's so logically obvious. You would definitely open some windows if the inside of your house was burning a light. You just would, just to get the smoke out. If like pressure blasts don't just break the windows anyway, you definitely would open a window if your inside of your house was on fire. Just to let smoke out so it doesn't fill up the room, doy. Doesn't matter if it's like desperately cold outside, that's just what you do. I mean, what you probably actually would do is actually, like, you know, get down and find the nearest exit. But, yeah. But we'll have to see if that's what we actually need to pit each other. I think I know what to pit against each other, but we'll have to wait and see. Hello, it's Alolan Pigment. Welcome in. Just found out you were playing this game. I had to join. This is genuinely my favorite Ace Attorney. It's been a good time. Some of it has been rather surprising with its depictions of what it must be like to be a foreigner in these lands back in the day. Sometimes it's been a bit blatant. Sometimes it's been a bit wow. But that's a choice made willingly. But otherwise, it's been a fun time. And there'll be a lot more Ace Attorney where that came from when we get around to finishing this, because we've got a whole marathon of it coming up. We'll be moving on to Great Destiny 2 once we're done here, and then going through the entire of the rest of the games in in-game timeline order. This ain't just a marathon, this is a chronology marathon, where rather than doing by release order, we do it by in-game timeline order, which is why we're starting with Great Ace Attorney stuff. So I hope you're in for some good times here. Anyway.
We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street. As well as how he or she could have done it.
Yeah, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced that they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary.
I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation.
Yeah. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions, just a connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for the strike.
That's the spirit! That's Bullyware the spirit!
So, if the window was closed, but, as this man has described in his very interesting and lively tale, you have to open
Oh, winter house fires are dire. You have to open windows to clear the smoke. That's when the chill gets you, see?
I didn't realize he actually updated his thoughts. So did anybody else update their thoughts before? Nah. The window was closed. Yeah, but there's a fire going on. If there was a fire going on at the same time, logic did say that you try and open them to get all the smoke out. So yeah, put them together. If they're not going to contradict each other, they at least connect.
Objection!
Okay, here we go. Objection! These two jurors' statements are clearly contradicting one another.
Hey, you? How exactly, counsel? Oh, don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me. What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up.
Juror number 3. Do you see?
Oh, me? See what, sir?
Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter.
Oh, well, yes, of course. Because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from the fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Ah!
Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garadeb household. And Mr. Garadeb had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my.
Oh, my hat! Oh, hello. Please, slow down, madam. You will get the most dreadful of hiccups from drinking tea that quickly. But I feel like I've got to point you out and say, why? Pursue. Boom! Excuse me, madam. Juror number 4. Do you have something to say about that? Mrs. Garadeb!
Oh, dearie me! What is the meaning of this? How do you imply that I'm hiding who I really am?
It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now.
What is it?
When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window?
What? I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating?
The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window.
And what if we did? Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering.
Even though your house was on fire?
Oh, you never stop frying until the echo subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise.
Of course. I should have realized.
That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You've managed to establish that the window was open. We simply must have that to Mrs. Garrett's formal statement.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now that you mention it, yes, the window was open at the time. I'd clean forgotten. But it's true.
So now that you've said that as a new thing,
Hold it!
let's press you on the new stuff that you say. Hold it! The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as a book that Mr. Garrett had told us he had been reading.
Well, I really couldn't see.
On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading?
I did.
Ah!
It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it. You're right.
Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset?
Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, that's what you know.
I really don't. I like to think I keep my anger in check, because I hate altercations. I'm an innocent little child boy.
Oh boy.
I barely noticed I was doing a book, much less title of it.
Hello? I gotta pursue this.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, number 5. What is it, juror number 5? You know something? I remember what it was. That memory I blocked out. Ah. It was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought it all flooding back.
What are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrett of the Maid, and have you know.
The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, I think that might be very much why. It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, like. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I'd nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't heard the half of it, boy. Oh? The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I've lost a day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear. Stuck to the wall next to me, it did, about 1 inch deep. Jesus! No words, just terror. Like, I could smell it then, you know. That god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never use the word lightly again. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it.
Miss Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like.
What? Attack? Who are you going to attack?
Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think.
Alright. We'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later. If I dare. Which I definitely don't, so we're never gonna talk about that ever again, because I like my life, thank you. But now, a woman in a rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me. So, I think we now have something plausible that we can say to you as an alternative for how a knife ended up in the victim's back. I think we got it for you.
Objection.
Objection! Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection.
Good grief. You mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once.
Juror number 2. Do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative?
Oh my! Whatever do you mean?
An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back.
What are you talking about?
We've demonstrated that the fourth book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Garadev's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Garadev household to the street below.
Hey, what's that now?
After all, Mrs. Garadev could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4?
What do you insinuate now, you little beanpole?
Alright, I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of the book came to light, perhaps she had a feeling this might be what happened.
Now, you listen here, you Eastern Galah. As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What was it?
I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreign. I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garadev household to the scene of the crime was jackknife, because that thing that was found in the back of in the victim's back. So this one.
Take that!
Take that!
Ba, ba, ba.
Juror number 4, Mrs. Garadev.
What now?
I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before?
Oh! Good Lord, counsel! What on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged in the victim's back, man!
Trust me, I'm getting there. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garadev were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garadev was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene.
You can't seriously believe that! The book was found in the victim's grasp! Are you saying that it flew out the window and across the street to land nearly in her hand? Huh? Even my missus hasn't got a name like that.
Yes, I admit there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now.
Oh my!
Ah!
Mrs. Garadev, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? I think she might have. I think we got her.
My lord! I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all.
Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now, with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman! I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny did it, mind. Yeah, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. All together now, ladies and gents. Bum 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 bum! And thus we can keep going. Yay! We did it!
Oh, Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo.
So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty, against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinions of this court is divided. And this trial will continue.
Yeah!
How many more times we gotta do that? Not that I think it's a bad mechanic, it's really cool to try and like figure out like what could be connecting or contradicting. It's fun when you finally get those when you get the answer to that. But yeah, how many times in like each trial do we have to do something like that? There's some more in episode 5 coming up then, I don't know.
Hey, Cat. Hello. Welcome in. Hope your day is going well. Hope everybody's day is going well currently, either in YouTube or Twitch form today.
Now then, Lord Van Zieks, how does the prosecution wish to proceed?
I need a drink. This trial is rapidly descending into a farce.
In fact, I need a drink as well, to be fair.
Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough.
That's a waste of wine! You keep wasting wine and chalices! My man! Therapy! For the love of God!
But what follows is so repugnant it's good for nothing save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zieks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke with which I barely know how to respond.
It's snowing out now. Oh, I hope it's not too bad. If it is, then I hope that you're safe. That's all I can say.
But let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed.
What do you mean by that? Oh my god, what's his angle this time?
It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garrideb household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road.
Don't need to drive anywhere, so no worries on that front.
Okay, then.
That's at least safe. That's at least good you can keep safe in that regard.
Which means that the distance from the Garrideb's house to the scene is some... yes, 15 yards.
Let me see. 15 yards? That's around 14 meters.
40 meters? Oh, okay, that's a little further than I imagined.
And, as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having poisonous significance, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smouldering book, wantonly hurled by the lady of the house, travelled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb.
So, are we possibly going to talk about, like, the order of which things were thrown out of the window next? Because maybe the book was thrown out first, and it flew right... It still managed to travel that distance and fly such a way to get the intention of Miss Victim. She's, like, bending down to pick the book, and while she's bending down to, like, put the book in her hand, that's when another object, namely the jackknife, flies out that same distance and, rather unfortunately, does what it does. That's what I think, but let's see what the game thinks.
Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend?
Be surprised how many court cases there have been about the order of which items are thrown out of a window. I mean, in this... Yeah, that's an important thing to note in this case, because if knife goes out... If the knife is before the book, then you can see where problems arise. But if book was first, before the knife gets thrown out, there's a very credible theory as to what might have happened. So that's what I'm thinking, but I need to see what the game is going to... where the game is going to take us with this.
And did the jackknife follow a near-identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots.
Ah! But you're not saying it's impossible, it's just less believable. It's not like 0.000% impossible, just rather bloody unlikely, but rather bloody unlikely things do tend to happen. Oh, but there's nothing I can say to that.
That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice.
Mrs. Otto!
Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he!
Maybe let's pick our battles here.
My lord, might I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistants, you may speak for the defense, yes? Go ahead.
The prosecution may consider the idea of fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joan Garrett, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination.
Saints alive! A cross-examination of a juror?
Yeah, we can get this tired policeman out of the dock, finally.
Order! 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 Well, this is highly irregular.
Man lost his life to an advertisement board falling down on him 2 months ago here. Likelihood of that were very, very, very unlikely, but it did happen. Yeah, like I said, very unlikely things do happen, so there you go. Excuse me.
It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
That's £2,500 in this time period's money out of the window there. And unnecessary.
Lord Van Zieks?
Ah! There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth in it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly.
What say you, witnesses?
Oh, I remember this guy.
Yes, sir! Constable Rotherbeat reporting for duty, sir!
Well, good morning, officer.
Oh, sorry for dozing until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir.
Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies.
Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more.
Oh, really, my hero? You make me swoon.
Very well. I hereby reject the defense's request
Oh,
and order the witnesses in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir!
Alright. Witness testimony of, did you see a burning book or a knife fly out of a window? We will be finding that out after we take ourselves a bit of a break. So, yeah, it's time to do so. Don't worry for people in the YouTube video upload right now watching this. We have cut out all of our breaks, so you'll be right back to the action straight after this. But for people in the Twitch stream, it's time for our usual hourly mandated ad break to get those pesky pre-rolls out of the way. I'll see you back here in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. It's time to continue with the testimony. Thank you for coming in, everybody in the Twitch live stream and in the YouTube the YouTube video you're currently watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see, do leave your likes and comments down below. Maybe even subscribe and hit the bell. All that usual stuff does help out the channel in many good ways. And when you hit the bell, you should hopefully get all the push notifications for when new uploads like this come up in the future. Or better yet, you can even join me in the Twitch streams as well. Check out the details down below for the Twitch link, where we do these streams a week before they get uploaded and made public on YouTube. So check us out there if you want to watch these live. All right. We've got a testimony to do, so let's get on with it, shall we?
This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word. You see, sir, the window on the top floor of the Garrett house are top hinge casements.
Obviously, if anything could be thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing straight report on that front, sir. Oh, this is quite startling. Top hinged casement windows.
That detail was not in the police report, Constable.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Must have been a little jazzy.
You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable.
No, sir.
Sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window? Honestly, I'm gonna need to, get reminded of that because I don't know anything about doors and windows and such. I'm not one who builds houses. And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. Of course. Sorry for not being from this land in the first place where top hinge casement windows exist, and they likely don't in my country in this time period. Excuse me, Van Zeeks.
Ah, I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's room.
Oh, alright, I'll try.
So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house.
Like such. I see.
But, as it's a top-hinged casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see.
There we have it then. Thank you for reminding me of how that window works.
I'm glad we've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents it opening? Man, this is all news to me. Revolutionary, I might say.
Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a Buckeye knife would be thrown through the open window, it'd have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below.
No. You see the problem then? Good, your education in windows is complete. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something we've discounted already.
That can't be!
Did you see that, really? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony.
Oh yes, my darling, I saw it. I saw Harry crumble before me.
Oh, Rolly, you're so strong.
How is this happening to me? I made my mistakes. I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed.
Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-examination.
Oh, my lord. Oh, good. Another desperate situation. Oh, for crying out loud. Alright. So, top-inch casements. If anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help, but my trusted Lou was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. Didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment. Nothing strange to report on that front. Yeah. Nothing obviously sticks out to me currently. This might take some time to go through, but I feel like I need to.
Hold it!
And likely I won't get anything out of this, but we might as well try. Hold it! How can you say for certain?
A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the Force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty.
He showed us that before, didn't he?
Did he?
I can't say I remember.
To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about. And that's why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you what Bobby's good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes, admittedly. Sir!
Oh, Rowley, you're so manly.
Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat.
Oh, really?
I get a strong Rosie and Jim vibe from these two here. No. None of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett?
Oh, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir.
Yes, well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time then.
Absolutely, sir. I will answer it to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing.
Yeah?
I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the Great British Institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take back some tales of us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles.
I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here.
So to that end, sir, I'll be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears.
Thank you. I'll try. Right, this we could probably get to reading up on. A small folding wallet that identifies London bobbies and contains the rules of conduct to which they must adhere. That was a sniffle and a half. I am so sorry. Go on then. Give this an examination. The principles of policing. Item number 1. A policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. Item number 2. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Item, Metropolitan Police Regulations. Item number 1. Any crime falls under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. Item number 2. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Falls under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. You said this wasn't your beat. Ah. That's interesting, but then I've got nothing here that's, I don't think I've got any, of their testimonies right now that'll, not right now that I can, like, maybe tie back to this warrant card that he's got, so... I don't know, maybe after pressing a few more times we might get something new out of them. Alright, number 2, press. Hold it! By which you mean they don't open fully. Is that correct?
Yes, sir! They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see? So they're restricted as to how much they open.
And therefore, anything thrown out of the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where objects would have fallen.
Yes. Directly opposite the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road.
Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before? Well, I have another question for you, Constable.
What would that be, sir?
How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garendeb's house is furnished with?
Oh, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, man. Maybe you've got something to say that, very possibly he was not assisting with that said investigation yesterday. That's probably why I'm getting that. Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat?
Sorry?
You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that?
Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky.
Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, of course, I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rowley's Beat. It was so close, you see.
Oh, I hadn't realized.
Oh, yes. That street's Briar Road. That's the boundary between Rowley's Beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love?
Constable Beat!
Yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the Garendeb household yesterday. Their house is on my beat, you see, sir.
Huh. That really was cutting it close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Garendeb household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it as well?
Outside Mr. Garendeb's house? Yes, ma'am. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat.
I see. I wasn't aware of that.
Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's life of the Bobby after all.
Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners.
Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rowley for all of his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling?
That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it.
I think perhaps we should make sure that information is officially on record.
Leave it to me, Miss Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately.
Alright, updated case file. The pavement where the victim was found lies just outside Constable Beats Beat. That's not going to be hard to say at all. The border of which runs down the middle of Briar Road.
And now it's my turn, I think.
Thank you for the updated information. So let's get a look at that for properties. Young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound to the back. Location, pavement of Briar Road, east side. Reporting officer, Rowley Beat. Nothing was disturbed. Nothing strange to report on that front there. Alright then. Can't put it in my head what I need to press or say is wrong with this currently, so let's get some more information. Let's just get some more. Hold it! But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark.
Oh, but Rowley and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star.
Sorry?
The star that will guide us to eternal happiness.
Can't it guide you to answer the question? If a flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star.
And if I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let's really be an inspector, I would have said. 3 times at least.
Of course, what with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars. In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before you? Yes, sir, that is correct, sir! As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir! It certainly seems like they're telling the truth.
And then we saw this poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her.
You left seem to go fetch help. Rowley was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. I think we're trying to get to a point where we have to point out the inconsistency of scene of crime was on the other side of Briar Road. If Mr. Beats' beat is the side of Briar Road where Mr. Natsume's lodgings is, and the crime was seen, or at least the victim was found on the other side of that pavement, that would be another person's beat, so you're the one that has to do that. Something else. Yeah, around his beat. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Nah, nothing's coming through yet on that one, but... Or I could be chasing down the wrong rabbit hole completely with this, but we'll see. It's the objection game! Well, in this case, it's going to be a... Hold it! Because we need to press. Hi, dear Tomato Wave. Welcome to the stream! Yeah, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right?
That's right, yes. If it hadn't been on Rowley's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course.
Oh, don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat.
So Rowley told me the way. Only I sort of got a little lost in the way.
Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rowley?
Oh, please. I don't think Yunosuke is gonna like romance movies or novels too much then if this is like making him gonna hurl. Something like that.
So, I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. But like I said, my Rowley was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed.
I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty, sir. Yeah, not in that. Okay.
Hold it!
Last one to press then. Hold it! Nothing to report. That's correct, sir! I had my eyes wide open the entire time, never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the yard on us, sir! Really? That seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir? Strange, sir? Seems altogether regular to me. This burnt copy of The Lion's Pride was originally in the Garrett household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hands of the victim? can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of a crime the entire time?
Oh. Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burnt as well?
Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her bag, and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them. So that's what we're gonna find, is it? Okay then.
Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir?
Oh, yeah, of course. What is it?
You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell.
What? I wasn't really... I mean, Oh god, what's she doing?
Please? Just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am!
I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you!
No excuses. I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, you let me speak, won't you?
Yes, Mrs. Beat. I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one.
That was a very loud mutter.
I heard that. That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't.
Yes, duly noted, Mrs. Beat. Please, I humbly ask you to put the husband down and continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
Something that will dig her testimony right into a hole. Knowing the last time she tried to pull the trick on us. So let's use it again. This is a new piece of testimony. Let's go for it.
I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though.
Alright, hold it! Let's talk about that then. Hold it! Mrs. Beat, nobody is questioning what you've told us.
I saw what I did. That evening, I saw it clearly. That's a little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back slinking away from the scene.
Oh, goodness.
And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
All very clear. And duly noted. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction?
Oh, yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Roby. He gets ever so cross.
You want to talk about that, Mr. Bobby Man? Excuse me. Constable Beats, is there a problem?
No, sir. No problem, sir.
Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Oh, well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all.
You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way? On the night of the incident?
Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine. But she was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone a good 15.
Oh, really? You're such a tease. But the reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly.
The bouquet?
Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about?
Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Really so romantic. He saved up for it with the farthings and halfpennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
Yes, How romantic. Paying for it with coins you find in the gutter.
I'd forgotten all about it until just now. Had you, my darling?
Ah! Oh, yes. But that was just between us. No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise.
Really? Oh,
What's that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Miss Naruhodo. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. Beat about the bouquet.
Mrs. Beat, this bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please.
Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to.
He's looking at that thinking, this is taking too long of my time. I could be buying more bottles of wine to smash.
What happened was, I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while.
Hold it!
Hold it then. Do you mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime?
Yes, that's right. Oh, I was so upset. When we ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back, I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet where they gave me. It was in a dark spot where the street lights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice at first.
And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on?
Yes! And I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all!
In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beat, the victim is not deceased.
I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road.
Your husband, presumably.
That's right. Silly me. I'd gone over the wrong side to the wrong side of the street. Although I'm going to blame the bouquet this time, I can't think how it got there. I really can't.
So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of... Oh. I meant to be thinking about this one. So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite?
Curious indeed.
Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose really bought me. That change from the gutter he spent so long collecting.
By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry solitary rose?
Oh! Oh, yes! Yes, that's it! That's the bouquet really bought me for our anniversary! With all bits of change he found in the gutter!
Maybe just call it a rose.
Tell us, Lord Van Six, where did you come by this flower?
According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garadeb household. In front of the Garadeb's house? Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Oh, thank you, sir, thank you! Can I have it back? Can I have it back now, please?
No, I think for good measure, this road should be added to the court record as evidence.
Oh,
Okay, an anniversary bouquet, a present for Patricia Beat from her husband Rowley. The shock of seeing the stabbed victim caused Mrs. Beat to drop the rose where she stood.
but it's a symbol of our love. I want it back out of the trial! Do you hear me? I want it back!
Good grief, rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Beat.
Okay. Dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while.
Hold it!
Oh, oops, didn't mean to autoplay that. Oops. Right. As I skip through...
Wasn't near. Yep. So yeah, the bouquet ended up on the opposite side of the road. There's no way to examine said rose. I don't know, I don't think there's anything in it, but we'll at least have a look.
An English rose. It's such a beautiful flower.
Ah, this is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before.
Do you not take an interest in flowers, Mr. Naruhodo?
I wouldn't say that exactly, but I do know 3 types at least.
Gosh, 3?
Yeah, plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom.
Perhaps you should consider branching out? Letting some that aren't fruit tree based, for example?
If ever. And then... why would you examine this as well? It's very stylish paper the flower's wrapped in, isn't it?
It's just an old newspaper, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh. I suppose it's because I'm not used to seeing English print. It looks so exotic to me.
Ah, I see.
Is something wrong?
Oh, no. I was just thinking that if you wrapped a stone baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake.
Oh, Susara-san, you do love your cakes.
Yeah, okay, there's not for this. There's nothing for this then, but I feel like that now that we've got this. So let's see what they're actually saying again. The windows on the top floor are top hinge, yeah, that's fair. If anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave this scene to go and fetch help, but I'm sure the was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while. And... shock of seeing a stand victim caused you to drop it where you stood. Right, I'm kinda lost on this one. Try my best about this one. Are we suddenly leading this into a thing of this? Something might have just occurred to me actually. It's very possible that I think I've got it. I think I might have a feeling about this. Think about it like this. Okay. We know that the window of Garadev's house is top hinged like this, so it would open in, let's say that. I'm trying to do finger motions. So it would open like so, and there's the pane of the bottom of the thing there. So we imagine that something gets lobbed out and it goes bonk like that. So anything that hits this gets directed down to the pavement immediately. Immediately outside the lodgings here. My thinking is that what this might have caused the unfortunate victim to do is that maybe they were actually walking on this side of the road. I'm asking were they, but let's just imagine if they were. They get hit by the knife that bonks off the window and lands directly below it here. And in all the pain and writhing, she stumbles across to the other side of Briar Road and then eventually collapses there. It's very possible that could still happen because, you know, it wasn't an immediate, like, on-instant death or anything like that, as demonstrated by her being still alive but unconscious. So it's very possible she, like, stumbles for a few in all the pain and then eventually collapses and passes out at where she was discovered, and which is where de facto crime scene is pointed out here. Ended up losing my way for a while. You dropped your bouquet like that, and then yeah. It's a theory as to where that could potentially go. I need to go through, like, every detail of this again, just to doubly and trebly make sure. Spare this here. This one is taking me a while to try and figure out. You dropped your bouquet at the scene of the crime. When we ran over and saw it was choked up, you dropped the bouquet Rolly gave you. It was at the dark spot where the street lights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice at first. You went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on, and they came back to the scene together with the other constable. That's when I spotted my bouquet again, but the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all. Before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road, I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there, I really can't. Somehow the bouquet moved from one side to the opposite. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment. Nothing strange to report on that front. Okay then, I might see what I need to. I might see what I need to ping him on here. If you're saying, for one moment, you did not take your eyes and yourself away from the crime scene, how have you suddenly found out that... How have you suddenly managed to have this bouquet in your hand? So... I think just something to suggest maybe he did not have eyes on the scene and was not hanging around there all of the time. As if to try and cover something up strangely. Ah, I could be thinking... That could be a good thinking here. So I think that's what the game wants me to do. Try and find some way to ping him on this, like, I was there 100% of the time. No, you weren't, because we have evidence now that suggests otherwise. The mysterious transporting of a bouquet from one side of the street to the other side of the street where you just so happen to be. So you must have taken some time to run across the other side of the road because you noticed a bouquet was there somehow or something like that, and then brought it back over there. So I think we've got to ping you on this, right?
Objection!
Yes, I think I got it right. Good stuff. Objection! Alright, just give me a moment. There we go, that took a long time to get through, my goodness. Yeah, some things are painfully obvious to me and other things are just not. But in that case, I just had to, you know, just read a little bit more and get to grips with actually, you know, understanding what the words actually said and what they meant. So yeah, I think we got there. There we go. You claim, Constable Beat, that there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be.
What? What do you mean to say?
In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beat, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped to the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby. Objection! Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described, that's beside the point. No doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs.
Meager?
Objection!
Objection! But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact? Yes, a very important detail, I think, to leave out in that regard. How did you... How for this bouquet? Yeah.
No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore to that on Scotland Yard's honour. But the bouquet belonged to me! It has nothing to do with the case! That's why Rhoda didn't mention it, I'm sure!
No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way round. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garadeb's book. Mr. Garadeb's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house. There's no logical explanation for those things, unless somebody deliberately moved them. So it's, okay, general crime scene just tampering.
And this tiny old man is capable of that? No way.
What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rally has done something wrong!
Oh, don't you listen to what that scrawny lawyer says? Withering on about books and bouquets? Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is!
Oh good, Mrs. Garadeb's come round. Joy, that's what I wanted. Well, you might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garadeb, but deliberately meddling with the scene of the crime is a criminal offense. It's called,
Tampering, Mr. Naruhodo.
Huh?
Ooh! I gotta say, I like doing a little for the old man. Luckily, whenever the controller falls off my lap, there is not far for it to fall because this is a floor-based chair. That's fine. Anyway. But the person responsible for this tampering cannot... But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it. For a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Objection! Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person. It's time to point them out. Oh no. Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime? Yeah, it wouldn't be the victims themselves. So not what I thought then, so not via stumbling across on her own way in writhing pain and then collapsing on the other side of the road. She, in fact, did collapse on the side of the road closest to the lodgings. And then upon discovering that maybe what detritus she threw out was responsible for potentially mortally injuring her, she must have been so blindingly worried that she rushed out to see, as she rushes out, sees that there's a victim on the floor, and being like, oh dear, if she's there, then that could implicate me if people were to put the dots together. So I will just move her to another point to say yes. And then she could be the shady fellow running away. She could be another one of the shady fellows running away too. Confidence save on this, but I think we've got to implicate Mrs. Garadeb on this. I think we've got to do it like that. Let's try.
Take that!
Take that! Obviously the one who tampered with it is a justice minister. Obviously it was the judge. No, 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 no! There's only one person who could have done this.
Do you intend to share your internal monologue, Counsel?
Sorry, my lord. I was just taking a moment to get things straight in my mind. No, it was wrong then. And for that moment of waste-court time, you will pay the price. Is it me, or are things getting more strict around here?
What you were thinking is right, Mr. Naruhodo. There is only one person who had the opportunity to tamper with the scene of the crime. There can be no mistake.
Yeah, I thought so. There's no point overthinking this. There's really only one option.
I need an answer, Counsel.
Okay, then, so, yeah, I probably way overthink this. Y'all, who was apparently keeping watch all this time, you've got some dark history up your sleeve or something then. Let's go like this instead.
Take that!
It was, yeah, okay, yeah, I way overthought that.
Yeah, that'll happen sometimes. Don't worry about it.
Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Rolly Beat! It was you!
What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard?
What nonsense! Why would my Rudy do something like that? There's no one straighter than my husband. No probably works more tirelessly for the people of London.
Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the police officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it.
You're making it up! It's all nonsense! It's all lies! What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him! He did it!
Objection! If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it.
And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene.
Objection!
Objection! First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime: to hide something.
That's right! He's right! But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would he have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering, and until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. Constable Beat had very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair.
Mr. Naruhodo, have you managed to solve the mystery?
We'll see if he has.
Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering.
Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide where the victim ended up, surely, yeah. I mean, it has to be that, right? We're getting another contingency save, just in case I get multiple answers wrong here, because it's possible I can. But it must be to hide where the victim ended up. I can think of nothing else. I can think of nothing more. And I think I got it. Yes! Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What?
Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know.
That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all.
What? What?
Hard to believe, I know. I'm beginning to wonder whether this tumultuous trial will end, Counsel. If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening? Well, obviously, around about here, right? Gotta be.
Take that!
Take that! But that's... on the opposite side of the road?
I don't understand.
On the evening in question, Mr. Garadeb's book fell directly down from the open window above, and your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, was never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself.
Oh, gracious!
Objection!
Crazy things have happened in this courtroom. There you go. Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place.
That's right. I saw it with my own eyes.
It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was a typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran into the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road.
No, that's not true. It can't have been.
Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print. The victim herself, the 4 books, he moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary! But the constable overlooked one thing.
What? What did he overlook?
The bouquet, I presume. Exactly.
The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Ziek said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light.
Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously.
Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond, Constable Rolly Beat? Excuse me. I got sniffles. Kind of sniffles, really.
Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important?
Oh, really? It isn't true, is it? What the lawyer says is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know.
I had a dream.
A terrible dream. All the things I did the night he did. Is the game going to suggest he did all this in his sleepwalking? Are we going this way? Everything come out. Everything exposed. Ah. Only it seems it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly! Order! 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 What on earth is the meaning of all this?
Oh, really? Why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it?
Wishing the victim dead should be one too.
Drink, bartender.
Yes,
it's Jack.
indeed.
We want you to drink something.
I'll take that drink now. Thank you so much for the redeem as usual, but I have just noticed what the time is. It's nearly time to run the outbreaks. We will have the constable explain himself. Yes, right after this break. I'll see you back here in a couple of minutes. Alright then, welcome back. The tension is mounting, you can tell by the music. Welcome back to everybody watching this in both the live stream and in the YouTube highlight as well. We have cut out all of our breaks, so welcome straight back into proceedings, everyone. Do continue to let me know how you're enjoying this by leaving your likes and comments down below. And if you do enjoy, consider subscribing and maybe hitting the bell as well to get push notifications of all future uploads. If you're looking for more stuff like this coming up, there'll be some more in the future for sure. Or if you just generally want to see stuff from myself in the YouTube highlight form, please consider doing that. Or maybe coming to tune in on the Twitch live streams as well, because who knows, you might see me live doing these live as well, so that could be fun for you if that's something you'd like to do. But yeah, with that said, let us figure this out. We have just done a thing of finding out that sleepy little police officer, through whatever means, has tampered with a crime scene. Oh, excuse me. And now we return and continue.
Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of Nudden Town.
I can't say, sir.
What?
I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation. For everything.
There's something dark and sinister going here. I have a possible explanation. For why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason.
What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman.
And yet, Lord Van Zieks, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please.
Yes, my lord.
Now then, I think you would better show us some evidence.
At once, my lord. England, Japan, it makes no difference where you come from, human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions.
What gives away the motive for Constable Beat's unthinkable actions?
Would be... Oh, it's a toss-up between these two, actually. It's a toss-up between his warrant card and the bouquet.
Take that!
I got it right! He didn't follow his own rules, then! I realize I'm a foreigner in this land, and I've only just arrived from Japan.
which is why all of this information about London's so-called Barbies is completely new to me. I've learned that through honorable patrolling the beat. Though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example.
Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens of his beat in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly.
But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special.
Special? How?
On account of this bouquet, my lord.
Oh, yes! It was our very first wedding anniversary.
Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal. When he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road. When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them, what must have gone through the man's mind?
But, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a Bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Constable Beat. Is that or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day?
Yes. Everything you said, it's all right.
So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat.
Oh!
Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat.
Good gracious! Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you have done?
But in the name of love, he broke the rules, but for love. But what's more illegal, tampering with the crime scene, or having to pass up on our anniversary, tampering with the crime scene, Beat?
It was the first time since I became a copper that I'd ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realised where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight of all the nights? Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime. So, I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then, when I opened my mouth to speak, it just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Mearsham Street, and then...
Oh. Told a fib just to try and preserve a whole false hope and keep his wife happy. But still, you did something illegal, and that's the only thing.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Constable.
I just wanted just that one night to take my Patricia out for dinner.
Oh, really?
Just that one night. Oh.
You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street, to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighbouring beat's care.
You see, I thought, well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Rarely would never have left a poor woman on the freezing cold pavement.
Ah, I see your meaning now. But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat.
Oh no, really? That was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rarely.
And can you tell us, Constable? How many books did you move from one side of the road to the other in total?
Oh, 4 it was. Yes, sir. Definitely 4.
3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs the Garrett household, of course.
But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean.
Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it.
How you found it? What do you mean?
When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand.
You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding?
Oh, yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir.
Interesting. The 4th book's information. Updated! Updated 4th book! Mrs. B first ran over to see what happened. The Lion's Pride book that was in the victim's hand when this all happened.
I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There was only the 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who'd done it, I thought. I couldn't see the arm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it.
My lord.
Yes, Lord Venzeeks.
I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Prosecutor, sir, what will become of my Rarely? What will happen to him?
For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course.
Please, don't punish my husband. This is all my fault. It's because I'm always merry at him for coming home late.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired.
All right then, my love.
One last thing, Constable.
Sir?
Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you.
Yes, sir.
Carve that lesson into your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime.
Never again, sir. You mean to say?
Leave. Now. This trial is not yet over.
Sir!
Alright, bye-bye. Right there out of the way, we can get our witness that we would like to have out onto the stand, please.
Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Who ever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of a crime like that?
Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is the only person who could possibly have committed this crime. Objection! No! I disagree! Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back.
Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already.
Lord Van Zieks, is this true?
Very well. Name the person if you will, and if further investigation is warranted, the prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing.
I think we got it then.
You will name this other person who could have perpetrated the crime.
You who keeps you the one who threw out all the stuff in the first place. We can finally get you out of here.
Take that!
Take that! The defense would once again like to request the cross-examination of a new witness, my lord.
Once again?
My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it's imperative that we cross-examine juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garadeb.
Me? Me? Oh, dearie me!
Objection! That request has already been denied.
Objection!
Objection! But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garadeb, answer me this.
What do you want now, you little toad?
At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garadeb. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited, and to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Briar Road.
Well, what of it?
You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open-top hinged casement window, the book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident.
Yes, and as I said, what of it?
During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garadeb. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before?
Oh. I don't recall it.
Seriously!
Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man in over there and all that Regina said, members of the jury didn't testify, didn't he?
Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
Objection! No! I have no recollection of saying that at all, juror number 4.
Oh,
Make no mistake. You jurors are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process. If you know something about this knife, madam, let the truth come out.
but that's just a common or garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like that in our home. If one went missing, How would you expect me to know?
Hey, what's that?
Are you joking?
What are you saying, please, Mrs. Garadeb?
Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I've injured someone. Do you hear? I couldn't bear it. Oh, the poor woman. So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife if that's what you think. Come along now, chop chop. Do your worst.
Well,
Well, Mr. Naruhodo?
if I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. Then take the stand, Jorah.
Oh,
The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman. Thank you, Lord Venzix.
I'm going to have to testify?
Juror number 4. As I'm sure you will appreciate, having observed it with your own eyes today, witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truths of which the witnesses themselves may not have been aware.
Oh, dearie me.
So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Garadeb. And mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels?
Certainly, my lord. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, my lord.
Then bring your face out here.
This is such a... Oh, sorry, I'm thinking this. This is such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. I'm here, in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. He's a real boy! Witness, state your name and occupation.
Oh, yes. My name is June Garadeb. And well, I'm a juror and such like.
It sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife or a maid or what anymore.
The court has decided. In your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case.
That's right. He's a great ace attorney now. Roll the credits. We ain't rolling credits though. We still got things to do.
Do you understand, madam?
Yes, my lord.
You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth.
Oh, dearie me.
Ah. Could this be who I think it is? Are they probably gonna end up testifying together into that fact? I think it might be, you know. So I'll say it as it is. Chin up, Journey. Nothing to worry about now. There he is. Yes, I was right.
Oh, I didn't know you were here, John.
And he's looking us right in the eye in his the head from Art Attack looking face. Yes, indeed. Wasn't only you in the room that day, old thing, was it? Rather, I think I ought to testify as well, don't you?
What about your needs here?
Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it. I'm not the sort of chap to lead a comrade to face disciplinary action alone.
Oh, John.
I presume you are Mr. John Garadeb? Yes, sir. Former second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers, sir. Seen my fair share of action and now living the quiet life, as it were. The quiet life? Were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question? Ah, well, yes. Quiet.
I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question. Sir, at once! Thank you. He's doing that pause thing with his lip up there. I just noticed. Alright. The Battle of Garadeb. Oh god. The name of this testimony, seriously. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. I can't recall the reason now. Knocked a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon headed out there and got the window open.
Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find and threw at him.
Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I'd noticed if 1 or 2 went missing, I'm afraid. If that bally thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think. Huh, will we? I actually get a full, proper look at said knife. We can examine. And can we, like, bring it out and do some things with it, maybe? Uh-huh. Just goes on like that. And... talk about it now. No, what we can do is just, like, pull it out and, whatnot. Okay. Okay, if that's all we can do, that's fair. It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening. Although an entirely one-sided assault, it seems. The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield, you're just a gnat's whisker from death at any moment. Yo, are we still talking about the marital quarrel here? Just as bad as the war, to be fair. Well, I must say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end. Van Zix may well be right.
Well, whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Very well, Counsel. Begin your cross-examination. Bum. Yeah, still got plenty of time to do this in, I think. Alright, testify. Right, cross-examination. On the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. I was about to say, could we pin that down? But no, yeah. So the book was only... the book which had the love note in it was only for Mr. Sholmes's Dances of Deduction. Didn't actually come into here as evidence. But maybe if we press it, we can enlighten me as to why.
Hold it!
Hold it! The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe.
Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Garadeb.
A rather passionate note, in fact. But Mrs. Garadeb found the note, discovering her husband's little secrets.
And she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it, too.
What a sordid state of affairs! Hell on earth. I say, when a chap says he can't recall such things, it's common decency not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide of the mark anyway.
A likely story.
These waters run very deep. And what transpired next, after Roy's multiple blows to the face? After these, just all the things in the face. Knocked a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet, soon had it out though and got the window open. Okay, hold it! And the fire also spread to some items of furniture, didn't it? The bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine really. It just so happens there was some bath water around that evening, so I sloshed that about to put it out. A most precarious situation you put yourself in. Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. Have to draw water from a public water pump during the day if you need any, you see.
The lodgers are always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although that little mustached Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe.
The defendant, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, he received a stipend for his studies, you know, from his home country. Can you imagine? Being able to brew a pot of tea in all hours? He's obviously very well off.
Have you actually seen this other man?
Just like,
Have you seen him?
he's kind of just all over himself. I don't think he has the, I think his anxiety is too much for him to focus as like the anxiety is too much for him to, you know, actually behave as a, as an accepted member of society. He'd be like, too anxious to go out to get water, and maybe that's the only thing he's good to do. Oh god, he could be like he could be like he could be turning into a hikikomori, like in his own, in his freaking own, study trip. Oh no. The only reason he goes out is just to buy, like, water, get books, get other things as well, like, every so often get snacks, get, like, a meal from the local market or something. And they're the only reasons he goes out. Any other way, he's just in his house reading. That's all he is doing. Turning into an actual hikikomori. Poor man.
I believe he uses all of his income to buy books.
Well, anyway, the point is I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough. Okay, nothing in that. Alright.
Hold it!
See if I can jog her memory a bit more on what to pick up. Hold it! Even though the room was on fire?
As far as I was concerned at the time, it was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman was to throw, she was through.
That is most certainly not true of a Sasato takedown, Mr. Naruhodo.
How did she know I was thinking that? I didn't even have time to blue text that. So, please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items that you threw at your husband that day?
In all honesty, I don't recall. But I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, garlic,
Jupiter!
towel, a sponge, and a napkin.
You remember something, though.
Excuse me!
Excuse me, sir. Did you remember something? Do you have something to add, sir? Mr. Garadeb! Yeah, don't you... sorry, I beg your pardon? Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance, no. Just that the barrage of projectiles and the old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker, I seem to recall. Ouch! And the woman's aim is uncanny. She will land the bullet and... Ah! Good grief, woman! We're not at home now. This is a court of law. And this is my pipe, you silly old bean.
Oh, dear me. Ever so sorry, dear.
What is she even doing with a teapot in here? Why was she even allowed it if she's not serving everybody cups of tea? I think it's mandated in these courtrooms that you gotta, if you're the one that brings snacks or drinks or other sort of refreshments into a courtroom, you share with everyone. Especially you share with the judge. Joan, come on now.
Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you, obviously.
Well, take a look at this then. How do you suppose that happened, your pipe, sir? Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did, yes. And when I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. I see. Your pipe was broken. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Anyway, I've managed to bandage the thing up for now.
Oh, well, one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear?
Huh. I wonder what we should make of this account. I think could be important. I think it could be important. Add it to testimony, please. Defense believes Mr. Garrett's remarks just now to be of great significance.
Objection!
Objection! This war veteran's words only tells us one thing. Betray a fiery wife, and pipes as well as hearts may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worth of adding to the formal testimony.
Indeed. Common sense, one might say.
Yeah, might one?
In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir?
Well, I don't see why not.
Oh, dearie me, there you go again, trying to ingratiate yourself with a young lady.
My god, he's at it again. What a rascal. Very well, the court would accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence.
Alright, apparently it fell to the floor during the domestic dispute he had with his wife and broke.
I hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Naruhodo. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm used to having my dreams crushed. But thanks to Susato-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine this carefully.
Well, thank you for that rebuttal, Mr. Garrett. Now, if we could return to the crux of the matter, what can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim? Yeah, before we do that, I am actually going to take my leave on that and examine the pipe.
Bum bum. Ba 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 da ba 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 ba.
Yo, what? Yo, you what? That could be significant. Well, let's check out everything else first, let's get a full examination of this. There's a small nick out of the bowl here, look. It appears to have been made relatively recently.
And see how there are little scrapes and dents all over it? It's clearly a well-loved pipe.
Yeah, you're right. It seems to me recently that being well loved goes hand in hand with getting some battle scars. This particular nick is catching my eye though, because it's clearly new.
Let's take a look at this patch job with the wrapping it up as well.
It looks to be in a sorry state with that bandage around it, doesn't it? But for some reason it feels slightly ominous to me. Like it's trying to shout out a warning. Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Garredeb's dressing gown.
I suppose it must have considerable sentimental value to Mr. Garrett, given that he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this.
Either that or he can't afford to replace it.
Yeah, maybe so indeed. But now! This is very sharp. What's all this about,
Oh, something just swinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there.
Yes, I saw it. Something stuck in there, I think.
Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this?
It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something.
The tip of a blade? Surely it couldn't be.
Maybe it could be. The small piece of a metal looks like it might be the tip of a knife blade. It was stuck inside the bowl of Mr. Garrett's pipe. Okay. Then with that said, we re-examine the blade that was found here. It is! It is dulled out at the front, or rather snapped off.
Oh, look here, Miss Naruhodo. Just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
Wait, part of it's missing? I could be wrong, but I've just got a feeling. You remember this?
Ah, that's a tiny fragment of metal that we found inside Mr. Garrett's pipe.
Yeah, and just maybe.
Oh my, it's a perfect fit.
Somehow I just knew it.
And now, we are probably not going to need to do any more testimonies. Picking up whatever I could to find to throw at him. Plenty of knives around the place, guys. I noticed if one or two went missing. Right. I'm getting the evidence together that we need to use to refute something with, but not 100% sure what to refute, though. So let's just keep pressing for gratuity's sake. And for posterity's sake. Hold it! Sorry, would you care to elaborate? Nothing to say, really. Rather partial to a spot of carving, you see. Pipes and whatnot. Fishing tackle. You know, the sort of thing.
It's a passion we both share. I like to carve little wooden trinkets too. And then there's my leatherwork.
I'm sorry to say, we're always losing knives about the place. And we have dozens of the things.
They sell them at the market sometimes. 20 for the price of 19. Needless to say, I snap them up. John prefers to use 2 knives at meal times too, instead of a knife and fork.
Now, Joan, we don't want people thinking I'm some kind of savage. Man, here we go again with the scaldings. Why are they being so evasive?
I imagine it's because they don't want to believe it. They can't bear the thought that it might have been one of their knives that injured the victim.
Which is entirely understandable, of course, but still. Go on with your testimony, witnesses. Stop! It's gonna get really comfortable in the chair. Bear with me. Alright. That bullet thing in the victim's back really was one of ours. You'll have a job proving it. Maybe this we do need to
Hold it!
eventually tag out with the evidence, but we'll press for first. Hold it! So you have no intention of admitting it was your knife? Unless we can provide proof. Even though there is no other credible possibility of Mr. Natsume's innocence?
Objection!
Objection! You forget, my Nipponese friend.
Oh, God, here goes now. This is good.
That it is yet to be established that the accused is not responsible for the attack.
As if I could forget. If only there was some way to know who had handled the knife. But I suppose wizardry like that is just a dream.
Perhaps you're thinking of fingerprinting, Mr. Naruhodo?
What? You mean it's not a dream? That sort of wizardry really exists?
Whenever people touch anything, they leave behind a unique pattern from their skin. Or so they say. But I can't see anything.
Oh, but I can't see anything. Suddenly, Inosuke became Susato for like a brief second. That's what happened. Oh dear.
There are already countries in the world where these so-called fingerprints can be used as evidence. Lord Strongheart is currently discussing the matter at the Ministry of Justice.
Yes, I believe we are rapidly approaching an era of scientific methods of investigation.
But for now, we should have to find an alternative method of proving our assertion. But this knife found in the victim's back was originally in Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house.
Oh, if only I could transplant this whole incident to several years in the future. Suddenly Doc Brown comes in and it's like, Great Scott, I can do that! If only. Spam me in the drink. That's the extent of their testimony, is it?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I think we've heard all this before, to be honest. I can't say I'm particularly confident we'll be able to prove anything new from this testimony.
But in this cross-examination, it's absolutely essential that we establish how this knife came to be at the scene of the incident.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure both of them must be feeling very worried. Worried that it was in fact a knife belonging to one of them that caused the victim's injury.
If we could find even a tiny shred, haha, see what you did there, of evidence to support that theory, it would clinch this trial for us. It would explain everything.
Yes, it would.
So for Soseki-san's sake, we must find that last crucial piece of evidence. Mm-hmm. So it definitely is this one. You'll have a bloody hard job proving it. Or will I? Or will I? Because we have something right here for it. It's just, will I need to... No. Wouldn't make sense presenting the blade to them. We'd have to present the piece of the blade itself. Oh, oops. Skipped ahead and pressed the wrong thing. Blah 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 blah. They are very worried. Yes we know, yes we know, yes we know, yes we know. We shall clinch the trial. We shall do it. This will be the moment. It will happen. As soon as I get to the right thing and press the right buttons to start presenting something, I think we should present fragment of metal found in your pipe. A perfect fit for the knife found in the victim's back. So how about this?
Objection!
Objection! I think I got it. Mr. Garadev, can I ask you to take a good look at this, please? Hmm? You can ask, but I can't see a bloody thing. You can't? You would call me Dead-Eye Deb back in the regiment, of course. But that was some time ago now. Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large pink book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest.
Oh, he does. Dear me, it's rather wearing being asked about every other letter and every other word.
You must D very dizzy. Goodness. He tried so hard then. What is that? A tiny scrap of metal? Yes. Almost certainly from a tip of a blade. And what may appear at first to be just a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Garadev's pipe. My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how that got there.
And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel? Are you suggesting that it is in some way related to the matter of stabbing on the Briar Road?
Slap my face. Ow, my face. I am. What? When put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord.
You appear rather confident in that extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well, then. Present the pertinent evidence to the court. What evidence, when paired with this fragment of metal, allegedly reveals the truth of this entire case?
Yo, it's obvious.
Take that!
Take that! This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you'll see that there is a small piece at the tip of the blade that is missing. A common issue with the inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in their victims' bones.
And what of this particular knife?
No doubt its tip has suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere beneath the spine of the victim. Objection! No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Garadev's pipe.
Good grief! Lord Fenziques?
I don't believe it. Stake in the heart. The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match.
Good golly gosh!
Yeah, I got it.
Order! 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 Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery?
This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle.
A miracle?
So Van Seeks has figured it out, has he?
Counsel, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once.
Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Garadev's pipe?
something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony.
Advancing my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Not to clean out one of their salt projectiles, she did. Yes. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid.
Oh, dear me. During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Garadeb flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Garadeb, instead striking the pipe in his hand at the time, which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good lord! Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Garadeb's pipe. The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1! But as we said, as we have always maintained, very early on in this, very, very, very unlikely things still have that chance to happen. They are not impossible things to happen. Just very, 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 very unlikely. But, yeah, not an impossible chance. Them numbers don't lie. 1,000,000 to 1 is still odds. It's still odds that something can happen in that odds favor. Yes, yes, indeed. And yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out the open window. In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Garadeb's house, is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below.
Oh gosh, oh dear. No!
Oh my god, jeez. Wait, the back of John's robe as well is all on fire. You can see his jammies at the bottom of it. Did you notice that? I only just did. Well, apparently, Mr. Van Siegs has an objection. Oh heck, excuse me. A full-bodied theory, I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points plausibly arranged to create an almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument. Sorry? But after all, it is just a theory. A game theory! The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see, Boots! It's spoilt by an insurmountable inconsistency. An insurmountable what?
Lord Van Siegs, explain yourself! Or do we have another quick short intermission?
Because it's almost time to run some ad breaks. I'll be back and we will resolve this matter and maybe potentially get closer to the end of the case. At the end of the episode, maybe when we come back. So let's go and do that. I'll see you back here in a few minutes. Hello, welcome back. I totally wasn't muted for like the first few moments of this. Ignore the message that Fran put into the chat, the very, very helpful message that Fran did put into the chat. But we're going to start the thing back from here instead. So, once again, we're just going to confirm in the court records, the history, the chat log history, that I accidentally skipped forward one little moment in the thing. Yeah, this is just to prove that we missed basically nothing, and we can just continue from this point here. Literally nothing of value was lost. It's fine. I was just telling people that you can find me in other things as well if you want to see some other places that I frequent. I was just sharing my Instagram. There's a link in the chat. There is a TikTok link in the chat as well. It's all in the description of the YouTube video as well as all the other links there are important as well. If you're watching this on YouTube and want to be part of some of these Twitch streams as they're done live, check out the Twitch page as well and see what's there. We do streams Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays as the usual schedule, and if you like what you see over there, you can be part of those streams as and when they go live, so drop a follow over there if you would like, and if that's your cup of tea, maybe I might see you over there. But for now, let's finally continue.
So, explain, Lord Venzix, what is this inconsistency you claim to have identified?
An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with the knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her... Ah! Damn! Did Sir deserve that? I don't think he deserved that.
That's right, you silly little man!
Now, Joan, old thing, what are you getting so excited about?
Let us consider the basic facts of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. If the knife that struck her had fallen from above, there is no possible way it could have planted itself into the victim's back.
Ah!
But maybe she was preoccupied with the book that also fell from the same place, I would have you know. Very potentially.
Order, order!
Quite right, you see. That's exactly right. If the knife had fallen from her from above, it would have struck her on the top of her head.
Well,
He's lost for words, look!
I knew it. I never liked his theory in the first place.
I don't know, though. What really did happen? Huh? It would appear the defense has made rather a spectacular blunder.
if a theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history.
Oh, no. We were so close. I could see the truth. I was so sure we were on the right track. But now the way's been blocked completely by just one simple inconsistency.
Or in other words,
Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency, and the theory will stand.
Mr. Zato!
You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all. And your mind went blank. But if the path you were on is indeed correct, then a way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. All the information you need is there.
It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tacit acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed.
Yep, see, he's got a bird. He's got a bird in his robe so he can see his jammies underneath. But anyway.
Objection!
This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test.
Yes! If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way it could have hit her in the middle of her back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying?
Counsel?
There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. That can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer.
Good news!
Utter madness!
Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak.
This is the last inconsistency. The final piece to the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last.
The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back is the book that came before it. Somebody would obviously, in many 99.99% of circumstances, would obviously be taken aback by a book falling to the floor from up above near someone. And obviously you'd look down to say, oh my goodness, what's that?
And then maybe she was like more interested, like, oh my god, this book has some burn marks, what's going on here? Lean down to pick it up, thus leaving your back exposed to a knife, then falling down from the same window above. So yeah, it's gotta be this.
Take that!
Take that! This, the fourth book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present. The burnt book.
Is that not Mr. Garadeb's book? Woo!
I like the tune. I like the confidence tune that Mr. Naruhodo has. Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand. But as we all know now, it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that.
Quite so. As part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road.
That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beat made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. But what made you place that book in the victim's hand?
Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand.
Because she was so interested in where has this book come from? My god, it's burnt. I need to see what it's all about. And then, bang, knife in the back. In other words, the victim had already picked up the book on her own volition. And clearly, that must have been before she suffered the knife wound.
Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd have been doing much of anything.
So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? By Jinga! I think I'm beginning to see what might have happened now.
Oh, dearie me.
We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Garadeb household onto the pavement below, at precisely the moment that the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment. The young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her.
The book I threw.
Yes, Mrs. Garadeb. And what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement?
Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I gotta say, this drawing of the victim is actually kind of cute. She does look like an olive in a very cute way.
And pick the book up.
Yes! That is exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book.
Oh, heavens!
And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book,
Yeah.
the next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at that same time, walking by chance directly behind Mrs. Green, was the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume.
Well, I never...
It appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor, in the dark and the fog. He didn't see the knife falling on her from above.
Oh!
And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker.
So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place.
No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind this case. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb,
first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that.
There, old bean.
Poor Mrs. Garadab.
Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it? I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book, and I threw the knife as well. John, dear.
It's alright. I know.
I'm ever so sorry. Truly, I'm sorry.
Oh, nice job, sir! And there you get the truest look at that. And now they all gotta look at the moon. Number 2 be like,
Goodness gracious!
I mean, good effort, lad. Lord Fenchix, what news of Mrs. Garadeb?
She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events have left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern.
Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what would easily have been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions.
There is some good news, however, my lord. I have just had word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon.
It's strange. We've been talking about the victim all this time, but we've never once met her.
How wonderful! The woman is out of danger, it seems.
Yeah, that is good news.
So, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Oh yeah, this man. He's been there all this time, we've barely noticed him in this entire thing.
Ah, yes?
On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies.
Oh, no, it is me who should be begging your pardon.
Oh no, Mr. Natsume.
That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusions again in my confusion.
What conclusions, sir?
I was sure that the woman was dead.
Yes. Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too.
Suppose she must have looked completely lifeless.
It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me.
Poor Soseki-san. His imagination really has got the better of him.
Yes. Poor man.
So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. The fog beasts.
There's your Xenoblade reference for you. Hey, yo.
I should never have dropped my book like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police. Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry.
Wow. One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. one that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by this spirit and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Zix and our young lawyer here from the east, that chain has now been broken and the spirit exorcised. I heartily commend you both. Oh, Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yes, my lord.
In concluding this trial, I must ask one last time for your decisions regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court?
As the foreman of this jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion.
I do declare that truth can be extremely cruel at times.
Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Sitting for the old bean, much is out of action, you know. But I know what our decision would be. Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time. I see. I'll have a quirk and a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? Sure thing. That's what you think. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Yay!
Not guilty.
Yeah!
Not guilty.
Yee!
Not guilty.
Thank you!
Could you not, like, just press a button for it? We gotta work on some electronic button system for this. I'm sure there's some very smart up-and-coming English scientists who can, like, work on, like, providing you with, like, a button system. You can, like, light up a light with, like, green or red, you know? Rather than chucking fire across the literal Bailey. Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna get over that.
Very well. Mr. Soseki Natsume, I hereby pronounce you not guilty!
And dare I say... Oh my god, I forgot about the fireworks! So many fire hazards in this courtroom! Jesus!
And finally, Mr. Natsume,
Oh, yes, Lord Sir.
you are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, of course. On my life, I swear I'll never set foot in the courtroom again. I'm transported to tears.
We made it. Woo! Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned.
Oh, no official hammer for that. Okay. But we did it! We got our friend. We got our friend made innocent again. I mean, he was always innocent. We just had to prove it. And we did!
Yeah!
20th February, 3:17 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Yeah! We finished with plenty of time for Josh to get ready for his meal out with his wife.
Yeah!
Oh, locum.
Wait, you mean me?
Of course. Is there another locum here?
Is there even a locum here?
Compared to the original locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it?
What's wrong with using my actual name?
Oh, at last I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant jubilation! Happy, hearty happiness, hurrah!
Oh, I am pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted.
Would it be so hard just to say that then?
Locum, you did it! You saved me from the brink!
Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault, after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now.
No, not that! Lovely, loyal locum lawyer!
Yes?
I mean, as I said before, I've just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I see them looking down on me, laughing, look at that little hunchback.
Oh dear. I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume.
But day you, locum lawyer, gave my gloom the boot. You stood firm behind that baronial bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the binding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I bellowed, "Behold the best barrister ever born!"
Well, that's very flattering, and that was a lot of bees. Oh god, lots of
Bees! No!
Oh dear. And we're very pleased for you.
This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan.
An anecdote?
Is that what's become of all of my hard work?
There you are, my dear fellows. This is Herlock, isn't it? Ah, there you are, my dear fellows. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes! What a pleasure to see you!
I see I'm here not a moment too soon. The disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say.
Oh?
The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best of luck. We love him, but by God, he is stupid. We love him, I think, because he is kind of stupid. What a great character, though. Yeah, it's just finished.
Oh, what? No! Then my haste was in vain? Ah, it's you! Herlock Sholmes!
Oh? Have we met, sir?
This is Mr. Natsume, the man you had arrested, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters have taken place in the gloom. Either of your big lodgings or that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light.
Yeah, charming.
This is all your fault, Herlock Sholmes! You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind!
My apologies, sir. But I assure you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not?
Ah!
Had she been taken to hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now.
Oh!
But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human, after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience.
I do feel very badly about how I behaved.
Well, never mind. Now then, what was it that you wanted to say to me, sir?
Nothing. Priceless! Oh, I am sorry, really, but that was quite priceless.
Poor Soseki-san. Jeez.
Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty. Yeah, thank goodness.
But there is no bright side.
Oh, whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume?
Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits. And now by the Reaper!
Oh,
Yeah, Lord Van Zeeks. Yeah.
I haven't forgotten, you know, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed.
It will be all right, Mr. Natsume. If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you. Hiya! With a perfectly executed Susato takedown.
much as I like being turned in my head, a bit of warning might be nice next time, Mr. Sato. So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan?
Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon.
Oh,
It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I've visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here, and the city it has shaped. And I've come to realize that it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it.
oh, that's very touching, Mr. Natsume.
Or, in perhaps less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world to escape the terror of Reaper's Curse? That's not it at all! The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. Oh, I see.
A work of literature by Soseki-san. It could be an interesting read.
Maybe so interesting in fact that it is a compulsory part of, again, I'm bringing up the fact again, I've probably said it many times during this episode, but yeah. The books that Soseki Natsume ended up writing are a compulsory part of literature reading for Japanese students. The famous one, Waga Hai wa Neko de Aru, or I Am a Cat, is its English translation. That is one that I think most, if not all, Japanese students get around to reading up about in literature classes. So, yeah, this man is quite a famous name in the annals of that country. So there you have it. And what about Miss Sato and yourself, Miss Naruhodo? Sorry? What about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your moustache compatriot? Why would we?
A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. And only now does it feel as though we have finally found our feet.
And you are accommodated in the hotel at present, are you not? That's right. But we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us.
I've calculated we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted.
Well then, you could take my lodgings. Oh, the windowless room? Ah, but what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up with the floor and the ceiling and walls. Great. You drive a hard bargain. And, of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit!
Oh my! An evil spirit?
Oh yes! It tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call!
We'll
think about it, if that's alright. Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me?
Really?
Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself. Though it is up in the attic, I might add. Are you sure it isn't just storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris is clearing the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of?
Oh, this is simply wonderful! What an honor to be invited to taking lodgings to the Great Detective's office's attic! I'm too overcome for words.
So suggesting we look elsewhere is out then.
Then it's settled. Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Miss Natsume. I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you. And yes.
Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long.
Well, somebody's very happy.
Locum, I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Excuse me. Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But Locum, we'll meet again one day. Yeah, I'm sure.
And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer.
Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author. Yes, indeed. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo? Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I've little doubt Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening.
Yay!
And so, with Soseki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street. That very famous place. 221B Baker Street's attic.
And there it is.
20th of February, 4:41 p.m. The attic room. So this
Is to be our new office. Yes.
our office? I rather like the sound of that.
Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it?
I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step, but I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now.
So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Wow, he scrubs up well without his hat on. He's, dare I say, handsome.
Look at him.
Ah, Mr. Sholmes. Yeah, thank you so much.
It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it.
Good, I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you.
I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We have a lot to celebrate. Iris, you must let me help you. All right then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid.
Nice, good salad. So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures awaits us. Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my offices at these premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is. Sorry? London is a glorious place, full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights cast the darkest of shadows. A game of shadows, shall we say. That was a Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr. in it. Yes. Shadows? What do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies between London's facade already. So, once again, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London. That's nicht anonymous in the slightest. Of course, at the time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. We have spent a bit more time to get there than usual, but we have done it! Landed in London for completing episode 4.
Yes, indeed.
Then we'll go to episode 5's data. And get ready for the start. The adventure of the unspeakable story. The Hound of the Baskervilles. We get the legend of this. Shall we see the opening of it first? And then when we get into choosing our adventure, we can start literally... we'll get the teaser for what we're about to do, I think we'll do, for finishing this off. I hope you've enjoyed. And like I said, yes, we'll do the viewing of the opening for the posterity. For the teaser for what we do next week. Or next time out. Alright. The adventure of the unspeakable story.
It's coming! Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. Look well, Wilson, Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. For this is the diabolical hound of the Baskervilles.
Yikes. And that is all the tease that we are going to do, my friends. Episode 5, the final one of the game, is coming up next time we play. Thank you for enjoying this in Twitch stream. Thank you for enjoying this in YouTube land. Leave your likes and comments and maybe your subscriptions, and hit the bell as well if you have enjoyed what you've seen here. And when you hit the subscribe and you hit the bell, you get the notifications pushed through as to when new episodes and new highlights get put up onto the Laura Petal VOD channel, as and when they're ready to do so. But if you'd like, you can try and come along to the Twitch streams. For realsies, check out the details down below. And for all the other details and places where you can find me for all of my musings and such, and all updates, you can check out the details in the description for all of that good stuff. But yes, we begin the Hound of the Baskervilles tale, the episode 5. I immediately forgot its name. Why have I immediately forgot it? Bear me a moment. Oops. What was this called again? Record save. The Unspeakable Story. Yes, that's it. So there we go. Episode 5, The Unspeakable Story. We begin it in our next adventure in Great Ace Attorney Adventures. That's it from me. Have a good day wherever you've got planned next. I hope to see you for the next episode. Stay awesome. Love you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves.